Public key infrastructure. In this video, I will explain public key infrastructure, asymmetric encryption, e-commerce, public key and private key, along with encryption and decryption. What is public key infrastructure? Public key infrastructure is a framework that doesn't specify any technologies but provides a foundation for CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability services. Information security, in other words. Public key infrastructure consists of hardware, software, policies that the organization has implemented, standards to manage the creations, distribution of keys, who we want to give the keys to, the revocation of keys, the withdrawal or the canceling of keys, and the digital certificates. The digital certificates bind the user's identity to the digital certificate. When we talk about CIA, we talk about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality is basically preventing the disclosure of information to unauthorized individuals or systems. So basically, when we're sending information to another user, we want that information to remain secret, confident. We don't want it, to get out. And with we have the integrity, maintaining and assuring the accuracy and consistency of systems data. With integrity, we basically want to make sure that the information that we have encrypted and sent off is not altered in any type of way. And we also have availability, which is the A, making sure that the computing systems, the security controls, and the communication channels are functioning correctly. So, for example, if I worked at a financial institution and I was an accountant and I chose to give my key to 3 people in the company that could review the financial statement, I would give it to the CIO, the Chief Information Security Officer. I would give it to the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, and also the CEO, the head of the company. The CIO can take my public key and decrypt with his private key and look at the financial statements to see, how is the technology that he purchased for the organization, how well is it doing? Is it making the company money? Is it causing the company money? We can also give it to the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. Maybe she may want to look at a report or look at the profit margins, maybe the rate of earnings, or just the stock prices, maybe tax receipts. Look at all the checks and balances. And what are digital certificates? Well, digital certificates are at the heart of the public key infrastructure. They, as I stated, they confirm the identity of the certificate subject and bind that identity to the public key contained in the certificate. So that digital certificate states who that user is. So let's see how we can obtain a digital certificate. First, the user registers for a digital certificate. Then some method is used to determine random values. And after the random values are determined, then an algorithm is created. An algorithm is generated, and then it generates a public and a private key. And then the key pair is stored in a key store on the workstation. And then a copy of the public key and the other identifying information of the user is sent to the certificate authority. Then the certificate authority generates a digital certificate containing the public key and other identifying information. Then the new certificate is sent to the user. So within a public key infrastructure environment, we have to stress the importance of the public and the private key pair. The public key infrastructure enables users to securely and privately exchange data and money through unsecure public networks. Unsecure public Wi-Fis at McDonald's, Starbucks, Target, Walmarts, or even the internet. And they exchange data and money through the use of a public and a private cryptographic key pair. They are obtained and shared through a trusted authority. Elements of a public key infrastructure would include a trusted party called a certificate authority. And the certificate authority is the trusted authority that certifies individual identities and creates electronic documents indicating the individuals are who they are, or who they say they are. The certificate authority is basically the certificates that are generated. They are called the digital certificates, in other words. We have the registration authority, which is also called a subordinate certificate authority. And what the registration authority does is accepts the request for the digital certificates and performs the necessary steps of registering and authenticating a person requesting their certificate. And then we have the certificate database, which stores certificate requests and issues and revokes certificates. And lastly, we have the certificate store, which resides on a local computer as a place to store issued certificates and private keys. What is asymmetric encryption, and why would we want to do it all the time? Well, with asymmetric encryption, you have a public and a private key. You can communicate secretively without having to share the key. And it is asymmetric because those who encrypt messages or verify signatures cannot decrypt messages or create signatures. Public key infrastructure and e-commerce. Public key infrastructure cryptography is the meat of e-commerce. Here's how it works. The sender puts the message in a box. The sender asks the person that will receive the message to buy a padlock and sends it to her. When the sender gets the padlock, she uses it to lock the box, then sends it off, so if someone tries to intercept the box, they won't be able to open it. Even the sender can't open the box when it's locked. The only person that can open the box is the intended recipient. They have the code necessary to open the message. Experts say this is close to perfection. Encryption and decryption. Well, the public key and the private key is what's going to provide confidentiality. You can give anyone your public key whenever you want to send something secret to someone that will have the private key to open it. It is also used in the other direction. If I use my private key to encrypt something and send it along, everyone can open it with their public key. Public key, private key. Decrypt, public key, encrypt. And this can go vice versa. Question. If only I have the private key, I encrypt a message, send it somewhere, but everyone can decrypt it with their public key, why would I want to do that? Because when you get something that's encrypted and my public key opens it, that proves that it came from me. Thank you for listening to my presentation. The end.